that's for another time. Episode 16, which is amazing.
Yeah.
First, Mike is with us again on location at his new spot in New Hampshire. You and Davis got tore up last night. How are you guys feeling?
We got good and ripped. So I felt it a little bit this morning. Davis we had to go get Advil. He had to take that.
Nice.
Yeah, but I'm a pro, and pros play hurt. So I'm in the game tonight.
Was he shaking like a bastard when he got the Advil this morning?
There's a little bit of the shakes going on. Yeah.
Did you drink that organic beer, or did you have something else?
No, I couldn't find any of it where we went at all. So no, it was just regular beer. But I think the real issue was we drank a lot of it. That was probably the real issue.
Yeah. So once again, you've proven that he's still wearing a skirt.
Quantity over quality.
Correct.
Yes.
You know?
Oh,
Correct.
well, definitely. Yes.
Well, we went to a couple of bars, so they opened the bottles for it.
The good one. Good one. Yes, that's good. Yeah, because sometimes he needs help opening that.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
heard that where he couldn't. He thought it was he thought it was a pop off. I grabbed it, and went like this. He might as well have just put his skirt on then. And he knew it. He knew it as soon as it happened that it's never going to go away, and it's not. And it's not. Speaking of that, I did the Jimmy White shuffle the other day. I literally did. I hate using the word literally because I think it's over, but I literally did the Jimmy White shuffle. This is another, and of course we're less than a minute in, and I want to immediately talk about shit. But I want to know why. So I had to piss. Shockingly, I'm in the car and had to piss, and it was another case where I thought about while driving, I'm going to attempt to piss into a Powerade container. And decided that once I scooched up in the seat, that it actually helped. So I didn't have to go. Now I had to shit. So I got to the house, and I'm shuffling into the house. And I'm thinking, how all of a sudden did it go from me having to piss violently to now having to take a dump? And the turtle was coming. The turtle was looking around. I think 2 legs might have been out, too. It might have been that bad. Why the hell is that, though? Why is it goes from one bodily function to another when you never had to do the other one in the first place?
Sometimes it just comes on, you know.
Any kind of phenomenon is there.
Yeah.
All right. That's that. First thing we want to talk about. So last week, Jim was telling us, we were talking about the guy's gym rod falling out of his pants at the combine. And he told a story about your old gym teacher walking around.
No, it was just a guy
at the gym.
Yeah.
So you belted out the phrase nut cutters. And
That's
we
right.
just completely went over top of that one. I wanted to acknowledge 2 things about that story. The fact that Jim referenced Porky's, which is classic, because I've used that in describing one of my... that's where I told Dodgeball's from,
right.
Where Wayne Dodge is from. He's from the Erie area, Pennsylvania, and when he was describing it to me, I'm like, this sounds like Porky's, where you were driving over the border to go to places. But he brought up Porky's, and you belted out nut cutters, and we just like, we didn't even...
Yeah.
Yes.
I got nothing for that one. That's
No.
a classic, and I got nothing out of it.
I have used that phrase. There was a guy that I used to know. I'm not gonna mention a guy I used to know that would wear nut cutters at places where he shouldn't have, and you should never wear nut cutters. And the joke always was he would wear hiking boots and nut cutters, and it was classic because I threw moose knuckle in there. I thought I'd get a reaction out of that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Speaking of that, years and years ago, we went down to Disney World, right? And one of my favorite Disney ones is The Incredibles, right? So there's Mr. and Mrs. Incredible there taking pictures with the kids, right? Son of a bitch. Mrs. Incredible had camel toe.
Camel toe.
Right?
I knew that. That's something.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Oh my!
Yep.
And I'm sitting there and I'm elbowing Nicole because the kids are I'm like, Nicole, take a look, and she's like, shut up, don't say that.
Wow, I'm surprised they let her out in that.
It was. You know what? I might have it on the videotape.
Is that not the same trip that Kelly Ripa waved to you?
Kelly Ripa waved to me. Yeah.
So
yep.
I want to talk about why this. Well, first of all, no, we got to tell Kelly Ripa. I want to wait. So Jim alleges that they were at. It was a live taping of the show, right?
They were filming the Disney parade, the Christmas parade.
Okay.
Sure.
The show on Christmas. Yeah. So we happened to be in the park that day when they were filming it. I had no idea when we went down there. And so her and Regis are sitting there, and so I'm like, oh, this is cool. So I got, I'm the dork dad, like with walking around with the video camera to get everything, and so they're just I guess in a break and sitting
Because
there.
you were shooting from the side.
Right, so I have the camera up and she looks and she just goes like this.
Yeah.
And I was like a sixth grader. I was like, oh my gosh, she caught me. And I turned and I pulled the camera down.
So I'm drinking beers one night over there. It was before football season
Yeah,
was going to start. And Nicole insists that she did not wave at Jim. He shows me the clip. I'm like, yes. She clearly waved to Jim, like, hey.
Yeah.
So that was the same. So you saw camel toe on. I almost said taint, by the way.
Good one.
On Mrs. Incredible, but I meant camel toe on her. And I got away from Kelly Ripa. That's about as good a Disney trip as you can get.
Yeah, well,
that's going to be tough to beat.
That's tough to beat. I mean, anytime was the Mrs. Incredible, was she worthy of the camel toe, or was she a biggin?
No, from what I remember, she looked like a normal.
So she belonged in.
Yeah,
She wasn't.
There wasn't any.
She didn't have to jump into the suit.
There wasn't any overage. Let's say it that way to be.
I'm not sure what he mean. We may have to mean her weight.
Right.
Oh, I wasn't
Yeah.
sure where we're.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, so by the way, you can see that sumbitch, right?
I do see that.
You know what that thing means, right?
Well, that means you can drink beer. That's
the
what it means.
drinking
Time to
skull.
drink
And
beer.
that thing's lit
That's right.
and it's flashing. So we're going for it tonight. We got a couple of things. I got a couple. Jim goes, let me have one. I go, let me give you two. So we're not getting up every 5 minutes.
That's right. Right.
That's
Right.
what editing takes place for.
Now I'm just gonna get up and get out and get it. Oh, the other out of the gate. How about the picture he sent you? I'm gonna put this up for people. Jim sends his picture to the group today.
I sent it to him
nut
just
milk.
before. Yeah, I just sent it
What
to him.
the fuck is that? Now first, wait a
real.
minute. That's real.
That's real.
So it's nut milk, which is fine because I
Right.
mean almond milk. We drink almond milk, and that's nut milk. But that's the packaging that it's in.
Yeah.
So as people are looking at this currently, this is going to be up when we're showing this. It looks like a dick and a sack of balls, does it not?
Yeah. That's what I was just going to say. It's a cock and balls.
That's exactly what it is.
I Googled it when I saw. I said, "There's no way that this could be true." Right? Especially the second. So if you're looking at it, the one on the right, actually, they put a line through it, so it actually looks like a penis.
It looks
right?
like they put the mushroom top on it.
It looked like one was circumcised and one wasn't.
That's about right.
Good one.
That's
good one.
They were being politically correct. So you got to give them credit.
So-
Right. Right.
So I'm like, no, this can't be true. So I Googled it, and back in 2014, that company came out, and I don't think it ever got released, but it was like worst marketing failures of all time, and like that was one of.
Well, the thing is, it doesn't look like a nut. Like what nut? It looks like nuts. It looks like a sack, but it doesn't look like a nut. What nut looks like that with a dick coming out of it?
So
he's gonna pull it out.
After I sent that to the text, where is it? Works great on your wife's face. I heard that was Doug's response when you showed that.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
good.
glad you brought that up. That's gonna.
Yeah.
I'm editing that part out. No, I'm not. I didn't know how to
Then
write
you wonder,
it.
like, who's wife?
So that reminds me of, I'm going to tell this story about how, so on Facebook, a mutual friend of ours that we coached football with back in the day, all right, his wife, it's her birthday.
yes.
Speaking of facials. So she says, I'm going to use his name. I'm not going to use his last name. She thanks Rich, her husband, for getting her a facial for her birthday. So I see this, and I'm like, oh, man. This is like a giant beach ball coming in, and I got the big fucking bomb bat, wiffle ball bat in my hand. So I'm like, I can't say this. I can't do it because I know she's going to get pissed. So I text him, like, did you see how Kim said to Rich, thanks for the facial? Which probably now is going to get out there. I'm like, who said? I was going to be like, hey, it was his birthday too then, wasn't it? But I never sent it.
I saw
she
that.
got
I
a
was like,
facial for her birthday.
Wait, what's?
If she got a facial for her birthday, imagine what his birthday present is.
Yes, yeah, really.
Right?
Oh, that reminds me. Maybe she's got a McDonald's tattoo that he was going to see.
Good one.
Maybe
Good
that's
one.
what it
You
was.
gotta put that one up.
That's
Yes.
going up too.
Yes.
Who in the
Gotta put that
hell?
up.
First of all, getting one of those. I actually think I belted. Either I dreamt I did this, or I inadvertently was on a rant about the tramp stamps.
Right.
And I think I was telling it to somebody that had one, and I realized it after I said it.
Right.
Oh, I know what it was. Doesn't Kathy have one?
Yeah.
That's who it was.
Yeah.
I was on a rant at the Super Bowl. Did I offend her?
No, it's pretty hard to offend her.
She never brought that up again.
No.
Because I was going on about a tramp stamp, and I wasn't saying it in a. Do you remember that though? And I realized as soon as I said it, I'm like, shit, I know Kathy's got one,
And so's Nicole.
Yeah.
and Nicole's got
Did you
one
notice,
too.
by the way? Did you notice, by the way, that like in those scenarios, I just go quiet.
Yeah, I knew it.
I just let you keep digging as hard as you can, man.
And I realized I said that, but I don't think, if I remember that correctly, I don't think it was that bad. Like, I don't think it was really bad, but I obviously wasn't portraying it in a light that was to my highest approval. But I've seen now, of course, now I have to admit that I've seen hers, but she obviously just showed us. But she's got like the script or whatever writing on. You might as well take a picture and put it up. Send it to us, Mike, right? And then we can put it up. You think you can pull that off?
And next week,
I can probably do that.
Next week
It's like roses and flowers.
Wait, what'd you say?
Hers is like roses and flowers.
Oh, all right. Jim said you're going to be hanging from the beams next week when we do the show.
Yeah.
Where's the fucking giraffe? You don't have the giraffe back there.
The moving truck shows up in the morning at 9:30. So
the giraffe.
I'll have the giraffes on the moving truck.
Wait a minute. The giraffe is this big.
Yeah.
You could have
No. The giraffe's like this big.
You could have put it in your pocket. You could have
like,
brought that with you.
No, it's like 14 inches tall.
Oh, okay. It's twice Kenny Pickett's hand width, by the way.
Good one. Yeah. Yeah. It'd be like carrying an extra dick around for me, right? 14.
An extra dick around. Jeez.
But you know what? When that one came out, the McDonald's one, the only thing I thought about was the story with Rapelsberger with the arrow pointing down your ass. Yeah.
But so he sends that picture with the girl. I don't know where that came from. You sent that. I didn't, right?
Did I?
That was him. It wasn't me, was it? I don't have that. I thought you sent it.
Maybe I did.
What picture? Which one?
The picture of the girl with the tramp stamp that was the McDonald's arches.
I sent that.
You sent it.
Yeah.
Where the hell is that from?
Twitter. Super 70 Sports.
Oh, that's right. We think the guy listening to our podcast said the guy's talking about shit.
No, it was. When I saw it, I was like, "Oh my god, that's so funny!" But it was actually he was talking about like fantasy football, like read the stuff underneath that. But that Twitter feed is phenomenal, and the other good one is 3-year Letterman. That guy rips on people, and people in the Twitter's world are so self-absorbed,
Right.
And he'll get into an argument with people, and they think he's actually serious. And he'll be like, Gerald Ford was the greatest American president and invented the automobile. Right? And like, no, he didn't. He's like, how many SEC championships do you have?
That's his response.
Our country is the greatest country. We literally invented electricity and whatever. But you sit there and I piss my pants laughing reading this guy because he just shows how stupid people can be.
Well, especially Twitter. Twitter's allowed all the knuckle draggers that were buried in their basements in the 70s that come out and rant now and stupid shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So, first of all, that was just on there. Who the hell gets anywhere on their body a McDonald's? Like, that had to have been a lost bet, right? And I'll put it up because Mike sent it. Because it's a woman, and she's wearing a thong, right? It looks like she's wearing like lingerie underwear.
Yeah.
But, and for at least the body that you could see looked pretty nice. Like, it looked kind of trim. She didn't have any overage or anything like that.
No, there was no overage. No.
But who the hell gets the golden arches? You know what?
That's got to be.
Do you think there's a bun on each side of her asshole? Like
Good
one
one.
on the top, one on the bottom?
Good one. Good one. Yep.
The quarter pounder.
The quarter pounder's right in the middle there.
Yeah, that's where you put the special sauce.
By the way, good one. There's a... Oh man!
God, if my mother ever watches this,
that's not. Yeah, that's what it is. That's exactly. There's got to be a reason. That's where you put the special sauce. Is great.
I'm actually hoping that was just somebody wasn't that stupid and did like it. Hopefully, it was a painting.
I don't think so.
To like
a temporary tattoo,
like a Halloween party or something. Be like, what's the most trailer trash thing I could do? Oh, let me get a McDonald's
tattoo above your ass crack.
Yeah.
By the way, last week I mentioned somebody credit carding somebody. Have you ever heard that phrase?
No.
So
No.
you take something and you credit card the girl with it, like not naked. She's got clothes on. That's obvious. That's a thing. I heard of a guy that did that. He got in trouble for it. Ultimately.
Yeah, I would.
Wait a
think
minute.
so.
Wait a minute. I don't understand the mechanics of this.
So
Explain
she's
this.
in front of him, slightly bent over, let's say.
Okay.
And he takes a small
card.
amount of paper towel roll left and goes up the old credit card thing.
Huh.
Yeah.
That probably didn't
That
work
did
out
not
well,
go
did
over
it?
well at all.
No.
And for people that are
The guy
watching
probably
this that
should have
knows
been in
me,
handcuffs.
probably know who I'm talking about. It did not go over well at all. Anyhow, I heard somebody's like, oh yeah, he credit carded her. I'm like, is that what I think it is? They're like, yep. I'm like, no wonder that didn't go well. That did not go well at all.
Nope.
All right.
Oh, that's too funny.
I didn't put a timer on this, so this is going to go for however long until we run out of tape. I'll have to check the thing. Not tape. All right, so I want to bring up, so we're going to get a little serious now and talk about Calvin Ridley, because that obviously affects, not too serious by the way, but that affects, why am I
Why
yelling?
are you yelling?
You're
yelling. Why are you yelling?
Oh, that's not, okay.
Better that way than the other way.
Well, that's true, because that had happened before we went on the other way.
Great.
And thankfully,
So it's
it's
like
treatment.
Corvallis.
It was treatment again. It was treatment.
It actually sounded like he stepped in mud.
Yeah.
It just made like a splat
Good one.
sound.
Maybe I was getting treatment in Corvallis.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what happened.
I heard you were farting in the bar last night, though.
Allegedly.
So when we were in Indy. When we were in Indy, this was stop number 3 of our drinking. This was stop number 3 of 4 of our drinking barrage. Right. And I ripped one in the bar. It's late. That was when Tyler Gilbert was throwing that no-hitter, that perfect game or whatever it was. So I decided, we're all standing there, that I'm going to be able to just sneak one out here, right? And everybody smelled it. Everybody, inclling Angela, Kathy, and Mike, they were disgusted. They were disgusted with me. They were not like, because for women, like for him, it was probably like, all right, you got me. Like that was right. Like, I mean, ultimately, the Corvallis story, he locked the windows on me, and it smelled like shit. But he got me. I mean, that's it. But they were not. They were disgusted. They were not really that pleased with that effort. So he's farting in a bar last night with Davis, and Davis goes, it smells like Corvallis in this bar. And he said 100 other people were enjoying it too, apparently. That's impressive.
Oh, man, that happened to me my junior year in high school taking a midterm exam. I thought I could sneak one out really quietly. Nope.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the test. I was like, oh, my face turned. And I was like the last row, last seat. Everybody just went, looked at me. Thank God it was an all-boys high school.
That's
now, something.
What's funny, so actually last night I had to do a basketball game, and we're in the press box of the arena, and there's only 3 of us. We're doing a small crew. It's only 3 of us in the crew. So we go up into the press box, and I walk up to start setting up some of the gear, and it smells like shit. Like smells like somebody shit their pants. So I thought, there's 2 dudes sitting up there, 2 like newspaper guys or something.
Was it Keith Groller?
No, good one. No, it wouldn't have traveled that far. Good one, that fucking dick. That's for another time. That fucking horse's ass. Anyhow, so I smell it and I don't say anything. And as soon as we get downstairs, the one guy goes, man, did somebody shit themselves up there? So we go up a second time, it smells like shit again. Like either the guy shit himself or he's shitting. There's only like 4 of us there. Like, well, you can't blame it on, and it smelled like, it didn't smell like somebody farted. It smelled like somebody shit their pants. So now I'm like, you reach a certain, it's funny because you reach a certain age where you feel like, but that age has gotten lower and lower. It used to be like 80. You were like, whatever. Jim did it when he was in high school, just apparently. Just fucking ripped one, didn't care.
Hey, maybe that guy's shit in a big gulp cup and just set it over behind the chair.
That's true. He could have stuck it under the counter there because he had the piss roll.
Right.
The bathroom was on the other side of the arena, so he's shit in a cup, in a big gulp cup.
You know,
that's the guy that we're having over for a party one of these days. All right, so Calvin Ridley gets suspended for a year for betting, which is impressive as it is because of the fact that there was nothing but commercials for betting on games. That's number one. And second, fucking Pete Rose gets suspended for life for basically doing the same thing, right?
Yes.
It's the same thing. Is that correct?
Yes. I lost my shit earlier this week about this because the irony is unbelievable, right?
Absolutely.
The NFL is almost completely based right now on gambling and numbers and all the apps and DraftKings and blah, blah, blah. And you got one of your players using the service of arguably one of your biggest advertisers. It's one of their top 5 revenue generators for the NFL.
Yes.
And they throw him out for a year. It's like, you got to be shitting me. He's using one of the products, number one.
Yes.
Number two, how is Pete Rose how is he suspended for life?
Correct.
This is unbelievable.
Yes.
So you got to be kidding me.
Well, because it's the same thing. Like, there's nothing different about it. Right? Pete
Nothing.
Rose said he never bet. First of all, Pete Rose, if I get this right, always bet for the Reds to win.
Yes.
So, but he bet while he was managing. So he himself couldn't necessarily affect, other than taking somebody out and putting a bench guy in or whatever. But Calvin Ridley was betting on. He wasn't betting on the Falcons. He's still playing with them, right? Yeah.
He was injured.
He was injured and was betting. So again, he's doing. By the way, this is no different than it not being fair for college football players to make money when they're playing off of everybody else, like buying their stuff. So if you're Calvin Ridley and all you're doing, that's all people do is bet on games now. It's again the reason why the NFL is so popular. So he can't do that because he's playing and he's not playing. Like it's unbelievable.
You know, I can go either way on this, and I can make a compelling argument to be allowed to do it and not be allowed to do it. And I find the NFL being hypocritical. But when you look at baseball, the one thing that they have, you walk in that locker room, like rule number 1, gambling on baseball is not permitted. And you're like, okay, fine. Pete Rose did it. You can look back on now, if he showed just a little bit of contrition, they would have brought him back in, right? He would have got reinstated. With Calvin Ridley, you're right. You put on an NFL game and you see the Manning brothers
win Terry's money, DraftKings, FanDuel,
right? So here, this guy is not playing in a game, betting on his team to win, and let's face it. I mean, the guy's a multimillionaire. He bet $1,500. You know what? That's probably him betting $1,500 is probably like us throwing $20 down.
Yeah, or less.
So,
yeah.
So now I looked at you like, okay, but on the flip side of that too, you could say you're an employee of a National Football League team. And even though we do business to generate revenue for our league, you as a player are not allowed to do that. And he did it. But so
is there a rule? I mean, I wonder, is there a rule?
Yeah.
Was there a rule? Like if the Falcons had a rule, which if the Falcons had a rule, you can't bet. Okay. But I don't think they did. I don't think they did. I don't think there was.
Remember, Horning and Karras got suspended for betting on games back in the '60s.
Yeah, but again, that was wrong because they weren't promoting. Right. I mean, this was back when it was okay to do freaking cigarette commercials on TV and beer commercials, Ballantine beer.
Right. My guess is that they're worried about the integrity of the game.
Well, there's no question. But the whole thing is
Please, if you're worried about the integrity of the game, get officials that are full-time officials.
Oh,
I mean, give me a fucking break.
Right.
That's way worse than this gambling thing, right? So don't give me that nonsense.
Right. Well,
the NFL will, by the way. So I know they will. But and the other thing too is, I get it that he could impact the game. However, once again, it's one of their products. Are you going to tell the guy he can't drink Coors Light or Bud Light? Mm-hmm. Because that's one of the products they sell. Beer's the biggest advertiser. Mm-hmm. And on the Pete Rose thing, here's the thing that chaps my ass the most is apparently it's okay to take steroids. That's fine. Mm-hmm. We celebrated that. And that impacted the game way more than Pete Rose placing some bets.
Correct.
Right? Way more. So I just think it's both parties here, the NFL and MLB, are so hypocritical on this topic.
Yeah.
You got to get your shit together. You got to figure this out. And you can't put a team in Vegas.
Right.
Well, it all goes back to 1919 with the Sox, right? With that big gambling scandal, and we talked about it and all that. So, but now, I understand in the past of not being able to gamble because you're placing bets with people that are kind of unsavory characters, and if you get in a little over your head,
they're gonna break. They're gonna chop your finger off.
You're gonna shave points. You're gonna do this.
Right.
This guy's betting with a NFL sponsored website.
Yes.
Right.
So
correct.
How
and
does
he's not playing.
Right.
Correct.
So I don't have I don't have a problem with it. Like I said before, you can argue. I can see both sides equally, but I just think like you're telling me that these players on Super Bowl weekend, if they go out to Vegas, aren't placing bets.
Yeah.
In Vegas?
Yeah, because that's the other thing. How did they find out about this? I didn't read this all the way through.
I didn't either.
Did somebody? Because how?
He
logged in.
He logged in. He logged in with his phone from Florida because you can't place bets in Georgia. So he was in Florida.
Okay.
Or he had somebody log in with his phone in Florida. And because he's an NFL player, that's tracked. And so they picked him up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there must, in other words, it is somehow tracked to him that he plays in the NFL and he did it. So there must be a rule in place.
Yeah.
Well, how the hell? Why would you do that then if you knew? I don't have a problem with him doing it. I don't give a fuck. To be honest with you, I don't want to say I don't care if he does it when he's playing, but he's not playing. I have no problem with this.
Right.
The thing is, if you're going to let that go, you're right with Pete Rose. That should be that should be all right. You know what?
Yeah.
You're going to suspend him a year. We have no choice. We have to lift this thing. Yeah. That's ridiculous. And Mike, you're right about the steroids, which I still say they should let the fucking guys use them. Believe me, if you're going to make these guys fucking play the same goddamn game every fucking day, over and over and over and over, let them fucking do it. Because, by the way, they can't... Listen, I'm going to guess, Mike, you may be disagreeing on this. I'm going to guess, not now, but then, that 80% of the league was using some form of roids. You think that's way high?
Yeah. No, I don't. I think it was the majority by far were using
because
something.
I've been around the minor leaguers for a long time. Yeah. How in the hell you can just mentally do literally the same fucking thing every day? Wake up at the same time, go to the ballpark, do the same routine, play a game, do that, go out, whatever, go to bed, wake up, do the same thing, and then physically, the reason why these guys are hurt all the time now is they don't have anything to help them get through it.
Right.
They're not taking fucking drugs mentally, but they don't have the roids to get through it. And that helps you train and tax your body and still be able to do it. That's why there's so many guys hurt now. That's why everybody's on the fucking... I called it IL. To me, they took vacation. Yeah. They needed some vacation time. That's what I talk about all the time. Yeah, Gary Sanchez gets hurt running to fucking first base. I pulled a lat muscle. Vacation. And Sanchez needed some vacation time. Yeah. That's why guys are hurt all the time now. Not because they're really hurt, but because they can't physically. It is such a fucking terrible thing to do every day, my God, for that long. I mean, that's tough. Every day.
You know what I've noticed about baseball over the last couple of years is that they're the size of football players back in the 50s and 60s right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And there's more... Everything training wise is specific towards, that's, your individual sport. And I don't know if it's stretching or whatever, but you're right. They seem to be getting injured a lot more. And I don't know why.
I don't think most of these injuries are fully legitimate.
No.
Listen.
You're right.
Listen, a lat strain, first of all, let's get this out of the way. A shin contusion, any contusion, and this is the truth. Any contusion is bullshit. A lat, what is the big one that they use again?
Chipped fingernail. Right,
well, they always use. I can't think of it now because I got 3 beers in.
Not turf toe.
Well, turf toe is a football injury,
right?
But any contusion, a shin contusion, that's constantly but even a lat strain. Because what happens is it's known around the league. Because listen, when these guys go on the IL, that follows them in their bio. If you get a media guide bio, it's in there. A guy was on the IL for right elbow inflammation. It's on there for life. So there's certain things that are on there that like a shin contusion is known, like it's not legitimate. They just need to put him on the IL, and it could be a roster move IL type deal.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of these injuries, a lat strain. The lat pulls and stuff are big now, and I think those are more of and it's unknown. It's just a known, he needs some time off, so he's going to work. He's going to get some time. That's all that is. But the turf toe we know is not. That is actually what it's a turf toe, because they give these guys a turf toe. No joke. One time the Iron Pigs put a player on. He was on. So Sunday did a Sunday day game. We used to do the interviews in the dugout. And that was the year they were pieing the guys. Right. So the one guy climbed on the roof of the dugout because it was it was Philippe Beaumont. It was the pitcher. I don't know if you remember that name. He did not pan out well, but he was a high, and the Pigs brought him in. So the guy reached over and pied him in the face from the roof of the dugout. Right. Next day, I go to the ballpark. He's on the IL for turf toe. So the joke is, what did he do? Stub his toe on the fucking ceiling of the roof of the fucking clubhouse or the dugout. And there he is. He's working out with the pitchers. And then that's when they told me that there's certain injuries that are just, it's a known fact. And that'll follow him, but people will know that he wasn't really hurt.
Okay.
They moved him because they needed a space to bring up a younger guy or whatever.
Right. Yep.
So anyhow, I think that now without the roids, this is why they've got so many guys that go on the injured list when they're not really hurt. A groin strain.
I agree.
You know.
Yeah, well, not only that, like I said before with the training, these guys are so much bigger now, right? Yeah, I know. God bless you. So these guys are so much bigger now, training wise. So they're carrying probably. And I'm not one that should talk, with my belly on me, but some of these guys are probably carrying 25, 30 pounds more muscle than their body really needs.
All right. Let me ask you this though. That's a good point, but let me ask you this. Two guys that come to mind that had the most violent swings. Jose Canseco's swing was 100% from start to finish.
Yes.
The bat would fucking.
Yeah.
How many times was he hurt? Right? Because he was on fucking roids all the time, so he was okay.
Yeah.
Darren Dalton was on fucking roids. His swing was violent. Now. I think these guys your body physically can't take this abuse every day, but you're right. So basically the swings that these guys are swinging, Aaron Judge, big dude, the Vlad Guerrero, those guys, they can't, because they're not, if they're not on it, their body can't take it. I don't think your body can take the abuse that it could take in the 80s and 90s when these guys were hitting it really hard.
Yeah. It probably true.
Anyhow, we got off on that, but but my point is, this Ridley thing, I think, ultimately is you're right. It's hypocritical because baseball says no, and football the fact that football, win Terry's money every fucking Sunday.
Yes.
In fact, NASCAR racing has it now with Clint Boyer. Yep. Win Clint Boyer's money.
Well, you even said earlier with Vegas, the NFL, no professional sports team was ever in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm right or wrong on this, but for some reason I remember and maybe it's changed now, but like UNLV, you weren't allowed, if you lived in Vegas, to bet UNLV at the casino. Like that game was automatically, any Nevada sports team was off the board. You weren't allowed to bet. Now the NFL, you're embracing it, And hey, listen, let's be honest. You're going to tell me a Super Bowl in Las Vegas isn't going to be like one of the greatest times in the world, right?
The Super Bowl, I said this, the Super Bowl should be in 3 places. Yeah. Jack Russell's not available anymore. I love San Diego. It should be in the Rose Bowl. It should be at Hard Rock,
Miami,
and it should be at Las Vegas. Yeah. That's it.
I agree.
I know
I completely agree.
Just check the time here. I'm just going to check to see how much time we got. No, I fucking hit the camera. Oh, we got half an hour. We're good.
Okay.
That should still be all right. Yeah, this is probably not a good idea. This is probably not a good idea for me to have beers since I hardly ever haven't had anything since the Super Bowl. I'm all fired up already.
Good for you.
All right, so you want me to tell the Vicks Vapor Rubs? Oh, by the way, this is the truth. So remember we were talking about toothpaste last week? We claimed that he put. This is no joke. This fucking week, I'm brushing my teeth and then I'm washing my face and I got toothpaste in my eyes and it burned like hell. So toothpaste would still burn down there.
Okay.
I'll
take your word for it.
Yeah, it burned my eyes. I mean, I'm assuming it's going to burn down there if you get it near the nut milk tip on the carton. It's gonna
you
burn.
don't want it near the tip. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, if you get near the tip.
Maybe tomorrow morning you should take some toothpaste and spread it on your sack.
I'm not going to do that. That's not going to happen.
Run a field test. I'm sure the viewers want to know if it actually burns.
I'm not gonna put that down there. If anybody missed that from last week, go revisit that story. That was classic.
True story.
Because he put Ben Gay down there.
Ben Gay, yeah. Yep.
By the way, folks, I'm not going to make Jim tell it. There was more to that story that we heard afterwards. That he PG rated that about he R rated that as best he could.
Yeah,
it was a little bit different.
Yep.
So here's the Vicks Vapor Rub story from. So I teased it last week where my buddy. So here's what happens. So his girlfriend, and I remembered her name today. I couldn't remember her name. Now again, this is a Facebook friend, so hopefully he's been seeing this. He'll appreciate this. He tells me this story, and it happened like the night before. He tells me, could not wait to tell me the next day. So she had a cold. So of course, Vicks Vapor Rub fixed everything.
Yeah.
So she put it up here in her this area. So they decide, or he decides, even though she's sick, we're gonna mess around. So he's messing around up here with his hands, and then his hands work down a little bit lower, and he's messing around down in there, down in there. So was he
giving her the business down there?
20 feet in the air.
So it takes a little bit, and all of a sudden it's burning. Now, the debate that we had, so everybody can kind of get the gist of that. I don't need to do the hand. I don't, his hand went down there.
Yeah.
So we were saying, did we not look it up last week while we were finishing up and we were just communicating? Well, so it burned violently, like almost instantaneously. And she was not happy. Now, before we debate how you actually get that to stop burning, because I don't know what you would do, he told me this story, and I saw her like a couple of days later, and of course had no ability to not ask, like, hey, is everything all right? And then she was so pissed at him for telling that story, which if you think about it is hilarious. And it's hilarious in so many ways because, first of all, it's hilarious that he decided that even though you're sick and you're so sick that you need to put Vicks on your chest, I'm going to still screw around with you. Yep. And then to do that. Now, he didn't do it intentionally. He didn't think that was going to happen. Right. But we were figuring, how do you kind of...
What a vindictive guy.
No, he didn't know. But how do you kind of make it stop burning? That's the question that I want to know the answer to.
I'm going to say milk. Right?
You heard that, right?
You can't put milk in there.
No, you can't. But, I would say, because, you eat wings and they say drink milk. So that would be my guess.
Let's just... That was almost as good as Jim belting out that Rutgers was going to win the Big Ten next year.
Good one.
Are she going to lay down and you're going to pour milk?
You hop in a bathtub or something.
Oh, pour a little milk in the tub.
How do you get it in there? It's a liquid.
What are you doing there? What's that?
You need like an insertion tool or something, like a turkey baster.
It's not the
or
Neapolitan
something.
ice cream, is it? There's the pink and then there's the brown.
Yeah.
It's not the shocker.
No.
Oh, I got a shocker story for you. It includes his wife.
Oh, jeez.
So I tell you, this is funny. So first of all, let's just finish up that Mike was going like this. I want to make sure he had the gesture video there. We saw that. Yeah. So the first night we met the Walshes, Mike and Melissa, was at Mardiak's house after a football Sunday.
Right.
Your wife told the shocker story about that kid who drew Shocker Island.
Yeah.
The kid drew he drew Shocker Island as a school project.
Right.
The Walshes were walking up the driveway. We never met them. Now it turns out that obviously Mike was way beyond any stories that would bother, but you don't know. And Nicole was telling me this story about how this kid drew a Shocker Island, and you know what Shocker means, and she's going through the gestures with it. And here they come walking into the story late.
So now, in defense of my wife, okay, in defense of my wife, because now I'll tell a story.
How it actually happened.
I'll tell another story on top of that one. When I told her the story, and I had no idea what Shocker was. Like
I never knew it either.
I never knew it.
I never heard of that before.
So she never knew it.
Not before. No, I never did, Mike.
No. And she never knew it either.
No.
So when I told her the story, she just found it hysterical. And so that's how
it is. Yeah. So a kid. Now he knew what he was doing, right?
Yeah.
I won't.
Oh yeah, they did it on purpose.
But was he in high school when he did it?
No, they were in grade school.
And it was the older of the two, not the one we coached. It was the older one.
Yes.
And he drew a Shocker Island.
Yes.
I forget what the whole. Do you remember what the? It was like, a school project.
Yeah, it was
right?
a school project, and they hung it on the outside of the classroom, and the principal walked by and saw it, and then
how about that?
She's like,
That's not the principal that hooked up with that football player, was it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that was a different. Okay,
I don't think so.
Anyhow, yeah,
that's something.
Yeah, that happened.
So one night, I'll go back, and it was, we were over at the Mardiak's old house over here.
Oh, okay,
and
yeah.
It's me, him, Steve, his ex, and the Mardiaks, and we're playing quates, and all of a sudden there's a lull in like our conversation, and the women are talking, and the one woman said, "See, I like anal. I need anal." And it was just talking about a story like, my husband's anal retentive, like he micromanages everything or whatever. And the person, "I like anal. I need anal." And we just stopped. And then he turns and goes, "Again, had I known, and you."
Wow, are you sure that's what I said?
Yeah, I saw something to that effect.
All right.
If you need to cut that out, cut it out. But it was hysterical.
Well, that sounds about right.
I forget where he was going with this because I forget where that happened. I thought that happened at Bonfanti's, but that was at.
It was at Mardiak's. The Bonfanti's were probably there. It was.
Well, I'm already got to edit this tomorrow, but not when I'm ripped, but. That it was like a pin. It's like somebody farted in church.
Yeah.
It just drew dead silent when that happened. And of course, I remember Steve Tone almost fucking pissed. He almost fucking fell over standing up because Tone heard it and he fucking lost it. Dan, that might have been the most shocked I've ever seen Dan get. Buddy, that might have been the most ever.
Yeah.
He was so fucking, he couldn't believe how he just heard that. Yeah. But
that's something.
It was like a Three's Company episode.
But this was not. What it was is that she was discussing how people are like anal retentive and they're very meticulous. That was the description of it, not the other thing.
Right. Correct.
Thank you. That's way worse, by the way, than any Nicole story we've told right now. So now I got to start thinking of something.
No, we can edit that out. You can edit
I don't give a fuck. I'll leave it in there. Sorry, Shane.
Oh, it was, but you knew, like you heard the story. You're like, it just sounds bad. But there was. That wasn't the story behind it. It was something, and you just happened to catch like like it's like Three's Company. When one roommate overhears another roommate like talking with Jack, and it's a big misunderstanding, and then all of a sudden at the end of the episode, it's all they figure it out. So
it was something.
It was funny. That was funny. So
it was something. Just trying to decide if I'm going to edit out these last 10 minutes or not of this thing.
You might want
to. So nobody remembers saying blow bub last week?
No, what?
I must have fucking typed that wrong.
No.
The super team we can skip over. Do we want to talk about Jeter? Jeter
good for him.
Tapping out?
Good for him.
I almost said the Dolphins. That's so shitty down there. And Mike, you know this better than we do. Am I right? That organization is so shitty that here's one of the best, one of the greatest players ever. And he decided, I can't do this anymore.
Listen, here's what it represents, Doug. Here's what it represents: the fact that these guys, there's an entire group of these guys, Bruce Sherman owning the Marlins being one of them, that doesn't give a fuck about winning.
Mm-hmm.
What they care about is making money.
Yep.
That's all. Yep. Right. And they care about a margin. Right. He's probably making, the reports down in South Florida are he's clearing $40 million a year in his pocket. So he wants to keep making $40 million a year. He don't want to give that to he wanted to sign Castellanos, right?
Right.
That's who Jeter wanted to sign, and they told him no, that they wouldn't pay Castellanos. So Nick's a local kid, played out of American Heritage High School down there. So that was the final straw for Jeter. He's like, well, if you don't want to bring a local kid back who's one of the best bats in baseball, you're not serious about winning. This whole thing's not serious. And he's right.
He's
absolutely
100% right.
Yeah.
I mean, so what was he? He was 5 years there, right? With the Marlins? 4 or 5 years?
At least 3.
Okay.
At least 3.
And everything that he did up to that, with, cutting the, trading good players away. And I was reading today that they got that farm system up really, really well down in Miami. And, this was the year that Judah's like, okay, and he got the word from the owner, oh yeah, we'll spend money after this year once we got everything done and built up the right way. And now he was going to make the play for him, and the guy says no. Good for Derek Jeter. You know?
It's just it does prove to you what I've said before, that there are certain organizations that don't give a fuck about winning.
No,
they just and especially one. Well, especially like in the NFL, like I said with Minnesota, I think these teams that have these new facilities, Vegas and Dallas and Minnesota, that have these new stadiums, Los Angeles, it doesn't matter because you're going to get crowds that come in. I mean, you can say that about the Packers, but they're different. The Browns are trying; they're just fucking morons. But there's certain organizations, especially in baseball, that don't give a fuck. They're just as long as money's rolling in.
Listen, I can't be any happier
Marlins
with my new owner, Cohen. For the Mets. This guy is spending money hand over fist. Thank God I got an owner that wants to spend money and bring players in. I'm happy about that. But it's just terrible. I mean,
it's another thing too, is that Jeter's got a mentality where this guy's busts his ass every day. Like, you're working hard at your craft every day, and you carry that over into being what he's doing, and it's like you're around people that are like, we're not gonna. You can't be around people like that. Well, I tell you what they should fucking do. The Yankees should somehow bring him in, because this Steinbrenner family is not like the dad. Obviously, they're just fucking riding the coattails, or making riding off the money that the father earned, the family earned. They should bring him in as some sort of something, an advisor or some position that they can. Because that he belongs somewhere where they want to win. That's the bottom line. Is he belongs somewhere where they want to win.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, well, maybe he could do that Manning cast with A-Rod when baseball season. How bad is that going to be? For Sunday night baseball on.
Hey, by the way, we should talk about that real quick too. The landscape for Fox Sports has dramatically changed now with Buck and Aikman leaving, right? Like,
yes,
Davis and I were talking about this. First of all, I don't even know who the number 2 crew is at Fox for football, but you now have, like, who's doing the Super Bowl, who's doing World Series, who's doing the All-Star game, right? Is ESPN going to go get that now?
ESPN does have a Super Bowl coming up in the next couple of years.
That's a big change.
It is. I think Burkhardt is going to be the number 1.
I think so too,
possibly
right?
Olsen, and I like both of them, like Burkhardt. I also like Kevin Harlan a lot too.
Well, I know Tom Brenneman's gone, but when which I don't. I was thinking in a moment that we should talk about this because something happened this week that made me think about how ridiculous that was. But we're going to let that one go because that could be touchy. But not really, but it could be. But he would have been the guy.
Yes.
Yeah. He would have been the guy.
Yeah,
I don't know because Moose. Well, it's. I'll tell you right now. If they put fucking Gus Johnson in the Super Bowl, I don't give a fuck.
Who wants
to watch the commercials? I ain't watching that. That fucker's doing this Villanova. There, is he back there? No, the Villanova game is over. By the way, the Big East championship today, because me turning around and looking right now, that's the amount of basketball I've watched. But I'm gonna still get ready for next week. But. It was 1918 was the halftime score of Villanova Creighton halftime score, Big East championship game. Wow. Gus was on. I don't think something's right with him because all he does is yell at you. But that fucker does football because they've got him so low on the totem pole because he does the college games. Right. But they're going to want some big splash. Oh, and I heard Herbie. So does that mean he's off of?
No, he's staying on ESPN.
Oh, okay.
But you know what? he's going to be the next domino to fall.
Well, let me tell you something about Herbie. I will say this because I really watched the championship game.
Right.
He does really know what he's talking
He does.
about. I don't like the fact that he pussied out a couple years ago and started fucking crying.
Right.
But whatever. But he really knows. I mean, his ability to quickly identify what just happened because of the no huddles. I mean, he does know what he's doing. Mm-hmm. So if they took him off as the lead analyst, although McElroy is outstanding, who would be my next guess, or Blackledge. But you're right. That whole thing with Fox, because Gerald Johnston, I think, is a number 2.
I think they dropped him. I think he's like 3.
Yeah, well, he dropped down.
Because I don't even know, because we watch Red Zone, so I don't even know who's...
So I was just looking it up. The number 2 crew is Burkhart and Greg Olson.
Okay.
That's the 2 crew.
Okay.
And then the 3 crew is Kenny Albert and Jonathan Vilma. And Vilma's terrible, by the way. He doesn't even know players' names. He's awful.
Yeah.
Vilma was on ESPN for a while on college for 1 year. That's it.
He did the
1 season.
He did the first 2 Colts games this year. The first 2, Seattle and the Rams, I think, was who they played the first 2 games. Vilma, the second game, he still didn't know who the Colts players were. I'm like, dude, you just did the game.
You've been in Indy for at least 2 weeks. By the way, the most important thing is knowing who the guys are.
Oh, absolutely.
How to say their names. Because if you don't know how to say their names, or you don't know, if you hear a guy, if you ever hear a guy reference like, yeah, that was number 55 that did that, that means he has done. So think about the fact that this guy's getting paid to do a pro football game. And his prep is so limited that he doesn't even know who the players are. So he hasn't watched film. Mm-hmm. He hasn't broke down film, because if he broke down film, he'd at least know, all right, there's certain guys. That's what bothers me, the prep work that these guys don't put in. That's what pisses me off about most of them, is that you can tell. And Gus Johnson, you can tell it's limited prep because all he does is scream. Mm-hmm. And he's got a spotter pointing.
Correct.
This is who's on your roster, pointing at his stuff. So, no.
See, I wonder what Herbie doing the games on Amazon. Is that going to take away from how good he is on College Game Day and then the night game and all that?
But he did used to do the Thursday night games when I think it was him and Reese, and that's when Aaron Andrews was actually good before somebody peepholed her.
Well, they're talking about she might be leaving Fox too. I read like her contract is up, and
she to me brings nothing. I tell you what. By the way, you heard me say somebody peepholed her, right?
Yeah.
You caught that?
Yes.
Okay,
yep, I caught that.
Oh, by the way, what do you think about Carson Wentz getting traded?
Oh, yes.
Here's what. Okay, so here's what I think. I think Ballard. So people will say that the Colts were fleeced by the Eagles.
Right.
That's fair, right?
Oh yeah.
But I think that Ballard and the Colts completely fleeced Washington.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, the whole fucking league knew that they wanted rid of Wentz. They were they were going to cut him at the deadline. They were going to cut him and walk away.
Right.
And they managed to get 2/3 and swapped a second for him.
Right.
Like, why did Washington make that deal? Just wait till he's cut.
Yeah.
So anyway, by the way, good riddance, right? Irsay has said that he's all in. All the chips are in the middle of the table. So if that's the truth, I applaud him for having the balls to move on from Wentz.
Right.
Right? Because it would have been easy to say, well, let's give him another year. We'll wait. We'll try and get somebody in the draft. He realized he ain't the guy.
Right.
So I got to get rid of him and go get a guy.
Who are they going to get, though? Right. That's what interests me.
Well, I got to
the word is Derek Carr. That's what's buzzing around the Indy media.
Because the Raiders.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's interesting? So I just wondered who, because I didn't know, because Rodgers apparently is staying.
He's staying.
And Russell Wilson's going to Denver. Yeah. But I wondered who they were going to try to get, if they would try to get Pickett in his small hands, or they were going to try to get somebody else. But
where do you think Deshaun Watson's going to go?
Well, now, did something come out that's legit now?
It's legit. Yeah.
Well,
the criminal case is gone. There's no criminal charges filed.
Right. So
Correct.
Ella told me that she had seen somewhere that the Vikings were interested in him.
Okay.
But now this new regime claims that, now of course they have to, but claims that they want to work with Cousins because they think that they could make him into a winner. I mean, Cousins knows how to play the game. The problem is that he just doesn't win games. He's not and guys can win. Certain guys can win games. Certain guys are just mediocre. He's mediocre.
But you know what? Look at Matthew Stafford. I mean, everybody looked at him as kind of
Right.
mediocre, and he goes to a good team with a good coach, and now you got
It's just a matter of
so maybe
that's what I think Minnesota wants to do is get a season out. But I did hear Deshaun Watson. Now Shane brought up a good point this week that with Russell Wilson going to Denver, that fucking division.
Oh my God!
Because you got Mahomes and him and Herbert. Now, if Carr's like Kirk Cousins. He's making a shitload of money, a shit ton of money, and he's really not great. But they needed him, right? I mean, I don't think he's not a guy. He's a guy that's going to get you to the playoffs at 9-8 now, or 10-7. But he's not going to take a team and make them 13-4 or 12. Right. You know, right? I mean, do you agree with that or?
Derek Carr?
Yes.
I think he's materially better than Kirk Cousins.
Yes, but
I think he's much better.
But is he? So I always rate my guys on like wins. Like Kirk Cousins is a 500 quarterback, and he's below that in his career. Derek Carr is maybe a 600 winning percentage, 650, right? But he's not like Aaron Rodgers winners.
He's never gotten the love, Derek Carr.
No, but now again had Gruden
Carr
stayed,
to me though. Carr to me is more like Stafford, and I don't mean like in the arm strength category.
Get into the right situation.
He's never had any weapons, right?
Yeah.
I think if you take Derek Carr and you put him with Jonathan Taylor,
right,
and you put him behind that O line, and you put him with Nyheim Hines, who is one of the great.
Did you see he can't get this fucking bottle? There he got it.
That's something, yeah.
No,
you put him with Nyheim Hines,
with Frank
and you
Reich.
put him with Michael Pittman,
right?
Yeah.
So,
I think Derek, like you put all the tools around Derek Carr, he will be much better in that environment and more consistent, I think, than Kirk Cousins.
The trade that shocked the hell out of me was Wilson getting traded to
for all that,
right? Listen, the guy's 33 years old. He's probably got, let's say, he's got 6 more years.
Oof, yeah.
And that might be pushing it a little more. How is Denver really built to win now?
No, I don't think so. You know what? No, I don't think so. Do you agree with that? I don't think Denver's ready to win. New coach again, right?
Right.
No, I don't think they are either. I don't think they have the weapons and the tools.
No. Do we think he's going there to just kind of ride out his career with a lot of money? Because now Mike makes a great point about Derek Carr. Now you got me thinking. You put Derek Carr in any situation. You put him in fucking Minnesota. Could he win in Minnesota, Mike? Right? With all those weapons?
Yeah.
With the receivers they got, with Dalvin Cook?
Yeah.
Because so now you put Russell Wilson in that situation with Denver. I don't know I guess him and Pete Carroll or button heads. Is that the deal, right?
I think so, yeah.
He wanted out. He wanted out.
Yeah, I think what Denver wanted him, and that was a great signing for them. But.
And I think, honestly, I think Russell Wilson was smart. That he saw the writing on the wall. Like, hey, we had our window a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
and
it's gone.
It's been slowly closing.
Plus, I think
Pete
Carroll was probably at the end of his
So I don't mind him wanting to get out of there. I don't think Russell Wilson was the quote unquote diva quarterback,
right?
Or if he was a wide receiver like a Terrell Owens, or even Aaron Rodgers. Everybody getting sick of Aaron Rodgers. He's a diva. He's always complaining and all that. I hate hearing. There are things that I don't think that should leak out in the press with players that are unhappy. Well, he wants more of a say into the offense. If I'm the owner, general manager, head coach, listen, we have a partnership. You're my quarterback. I'm going to get you the best weapons that I can, but understand this. We need help here, and if I don't get you the help here, getting this person is not going to help you because you're going to be on your ass the whole game.
Right.
So, you need to sit. You need to sit and take a step back, and I think that's what Russell Wilson realized. The window in Seattle's closing. Now, I had heard that on the Twitter sphere. Supposedly,
that's the truth.
Supposedly, the Giants offered Seattle Saquon, Daniel Jones, a first this year, and like 2 other picks, and I forget where. And Seattle turned it down, and they went with the Denver trade. So, and You look at the Giants. Like, I'm glad we didn't get Russell Wilson. There were more holes for the Giants to fill, and other teams, like same with Denver. Like, how many holes did they really have? If he goes to Denver, and you're like, okay. I mean, who's the running back? Javonte Williams, right?
I
think so. The kid from North Carolina. But I didn't think Denver was that bad. But I don't think they were ready to get it.
No,
I don't think one player is going to get them.
No.
Same with the Giants.
I'll tell you what this leads me to. I want to talk about Deshaun Watson. Did you? Because Ella told me that the Giants want to sign Trubisky as a backup.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
So they could put the two. So Trubisky got Daniel Jones in the NFL. Let's agree on that. Trubisky was 7-4 as a starter at North Carolina.
Correct.
He was a shit nothing. The Bears drafted him. They make the fucking playoffs because that division blows, and then he gets Daniel Jones in who comes out of Duke. So that's a fitting that they're doing.
Right.
Where does Deshaun Watson fit best? Is he that is? All right. I'm going to ask you, Mike. Does Deshaun Watson is he better? Is he better than 500 quarterback? If you put him in a situation where he's got solid guys around him, is he a potential winner? Not winning a division and getting kicked out of the playoffs in the first round every time.
Yes.
You think so?
Absolutely.
I do too.
Absolutely.
Now, that would be a good that could be a good fit in Minnesota then.
Right.
Right? I mean, or eventually, well, I don't think he's going to go to Las Vegas if they. But would the Colts? Would you be accepted if he went there?
The Colts will never take Deshaun because he's not a cultural fit with that historical problem, right? With the civil suit,
right?
They're not taking him because of that. The Colts just won't.
Right.
So would he be a weapon there? Hell yes, man. In that offense, oh my gosh.
It
but
all
they won't
depends
take
on
him.
what Goodell's going to do. Is he going to suspend him for a personal conduct policy? You get 22 women coming out against you. Now, I'm not. Whatever. They all got the same attorney and all that. He wanted an investigation. He took the fifth. He didn't plead. And you know what? If I was him, I wouldn't open my mouth either. And let the police do the investigation, bring it to a grand jury. Hey, there were no criminal charges. Now, is Goodell going to fine him under a personal conduct policy? Mm-hmm. Maybe give him, 6 games? Would I make a trade and I know he's got to sit for 6 games? Yeah, I would. But he's got to go to a good town that's going to be accepting of him.
Right.
Right. So
now, I wonder where that is, though.
He can't go to New York because the New York press will just hound him and hound him. He probably Philly would throw him a parade. They wouldn't even talk about the lawsuits,
Right. Well, they brought Michael Vick. They gave him a second chance.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he'd be a great fit in Philly. By the way, I really do.
Yeah,
I think he'd go to Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh. But Pittsburgh,
that's a good landing spot.
Take him.
Okay.
So
I forgot about the Steelers needing somebody, right?
Yeah.
Because now I forget. Tommy Maddox is not still their backup, right?
Good one.
Yeah.
By the way, we have a bridge to cross in a couple minutes here. I do not want to end this because I figured if I started drinking, this is going to be 2 hours. I got there's about 7 minutes left in that. Do you want me to take a little break in a minute and we want to keep going?
I suppose it's up to you.
Well, I got to get home soon too. It's 9:30.
Okay.
Oh.
You want me to end this or do you want to keep going on this?
How much more time you got?
We got about 7 minutes left on that card.
We can go to
yeah, we should probably wrap. That's a long time for one of these.
All right. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, we could do 2 shows. I mean, we could do another one Monday night if you wanted to.
We could do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Let's do that. So this is good conversation because I'm interested to see where some of these guys go. The other stuff was all nonsense.
Yeah.
This turned out all right.
Well, we'll have to get to the Denver story.
The Denver,
me
breaking my tooth and ripping my pants.
Yeah.
Good one. Yes.
This is what else I had on there.
Marsh.
I had all right. So I had baseball dropping the Ghost Runner, which I think Major League. By the way, I believe that the minor leagues should play 9 innings and stop. There should never be any extra innings in the minors because it doesn't matter if you win or lose. They should just have a tie. They dropped the Ghost Runner in the big leagues, which was the biggest embarrassment. That was the joke. But I wanted to talk about the cab driver in South Carolina telling us, "You boys better walk," when we got dropped off before the game.
Yeah.
And Mike Tomlin, how that guy didn't appreciate being Mike Tomlin. and ripping my pants in Denver and face planting and probably chipping a tooth and talking to Billy. The Brad Marsh story is a friend of mine who I just found out this week. It's funny let me tell you, I don't know, Mike, you probably, well, obviously you don't have this happen, but, well, you might, I don't know. But I'm running into people that are watching this.
Right.
And you forget you're doing it. And then you realize it like, oh my God, I don't know if I want people
Did I
like
say
this
something?
knowing, that I shit my pants before I went to started the podcast. So one of my friends, Carl, who I went to high school with, I saw, what's that?
Spackler.
Not Spackler. No, not Spackler.
He got it. Carl Spackler.
Caddyshack.
Oh, yes.
It's Bill Murray. No. Yeah.
So there was a picture of a friend of mine who was out visiting him, and we used to play hockey in the basement. Right. And Carl said something to me about the podcast, and I'm like, holy shit, he's watching these things. So the joke was that he looks like, when we used to play hockey, we thought he looked like Brad Marsh that played for the Flyers. Mm-hmm. And I actually have a Brad Marsh story that he came to the arena for the All-Star game at PPL, right. And it was one of the strangest things I've ever seen a human being do at a restaurant. And I'm going to tease that for another time.
Wow.
It's something that I could not believe that none of us would have done.
Was that when he was eating the fries off?
You're correct.
You told that.
Not on here.
Yeah, we did.
I told Brad Marsh about eating the French fries?
Yeah.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh, then I can't tell
Pretty
it again.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
I didn't know I told that. So I thought I never told that about he ate the French fries. That was kind of weird.
Yeah.
All right, so I can't tell it, Brad. So that's that. So anyhow, Carl looked like Brad Marsh. So I've already told that story. So that's not for another time then. That's right. I did tell you the 69 guy ate the guy's French fries. Yeah. And then we got talking about Billy finger banging those girls. And by the way,
you got to be sure you give the
just to tease that whole night. And I'm going to say this gently with Mike. The one that he allegedly wanted to finger bang looked rough. Am I correct?
Oh, she was hideous.
The other one was not that bad. But there's pictures somewhere of them, but let's not let that surface.
No. I think those pictures have been destroyed.
Oof. There was no overage. She just was.
Oh, listen,
She was Carl Weathers.
Yeah, I was just trying to be.
Yes.
When you asked the question, I did not want to be. So I didn't want to be insulting to.
No, I'm just going to use that now. Yeah, she wasn't overage. She wasn't big.
I was telling
just
Doug,
an overage.
The last 2 days, I'm rewatching Veep, and and that show I've been pissing my pants laughing for 2 days, and there was one episode where they made fun of overweight people, and she was trying to worm her way out of it because it wasn't her that said it, but it was people in her campaign. But that show is fucking funny. So I would definitely recommend that to any of the right now 68 subscribers to
which I'm very, very proud of, by the way.
Yes.
I'm very proud of that. We want that to go higher, but I'm also hearing the people that are watching this, and it's kind of funny, but when you're out somewhere and somebody brings up, or you get it, because if I put it on Facebook, so a lot of people, and then you realize that but I have not heard, one of the guys this week, I explained to him basically what it is, and he watched it. He goes, you were dead nuts on your explanation. And then one guy said, all I know is that you guys usually talk about shit within the first 3 minutes. I'm like, that's what it is. That's what it was.
My friend, the one who
rubbed the Bengay on his balls.
Rubbed the Bengay and pissed over the car. I sent that out. I'm in a group text with those guys from college, and I sent that out. So he watched it. He texted me back. He goes, "Whitey, I turned it off after shit grinder." Yeah, when you talk about your toilet,
which was in the first 30 seconds.
Yes.
All right,
I said, give it another chance.
All right, we got to end this because I think we're probably over. Hopefully, I didn't fuck this up. But anyhow, if not, I'll just put the Zoom on there. All right, so good stuff, Mike. Good to see you. I'm glad you're enjoying your new place.
Yeah. Now, is that permanent?
Thank
this
you.
Place? You're out of Florida for good, or?
No. It's this summer.
Oh, okay.
Spend the summers up here.
And he brought his winter clothes, and the giraffe is coming. This 14-inch giraffe.
Yes.
He's gonna.
Yes.
He's gonna.
That's right.
He's gonna get measurements with his hog.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick it up your ass. If you keep,
But isn't summer only 1 month up there?
If that.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
All right. Hope
Many
everybody
months.
enjoyed it. That's for another time, episode 16, and we'll see you next time.